Hey everybody, this is AVP or Alicia. And so tonight we are doing another watch party. And I'm joined by my Chloe, my sister, and my lovely boyfriend Jack. And we're going to be watching two Orville episodes, The Blood of Patriots and Lasting Impressions. Now, when I see this episode, Blood of Patriots, I don't know for you guys, but for me, it feels like it's a continuation, a little bit of where Identity sort of is. It feels like it's maybe the fourth part of that Identity series trilogy kind of thing. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I could see that. I mean, yeah, I could see it.
I guess I could see that, yeah.
I mean, when I first saw Scott Grimes's character's friend in this, I originally thought he was Tom Paris for some reason. I don't know why I thought he was Tom Paris from Star Trek Voyager, Robert Duncan McNeil. But when I first saw him, I said, is that Tom Paris by any chance? And then when I looked at the IMDb and all that kind of stuff, no, it wasn't him. Just a guy that looks similar to him. So, yeah. But, yeah, I mean, did you guys think that he was the traitor that he was, or did you think he was genuinely, sincerely in trouble by the Krill?
Um, I think he probably was in trouble by the Krill.
I think in the beginning of the episode, I thought he was, but I think maybe by the middle, probably shortly before we figured out something. I'm not spoiling anything. Um, I I had my suspicions.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So the second episode deals with a time capsule kind of thing. So I'm gonna got a question for you guys. Have you guys ever had have you ever used a time capsule? Have you ever opened a time capsule?
I have a wish to one day be there when the Nickelodeon time capsule opens up in Wednesday, April 30th, 2042 in Los Angeles and Nickelodeon Animation Studios' courtyard.
Yes. Yes.
Originally buried in Universal Studios, Florida, in front of Nickelodeon Studios, but they have obviously moved it since. I did see when they bury it live, or as live as it could be. It was that day. I don't know if it was live,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah.
I think my high school had one where because okay, so here's the thing. Where I live in my state, my high school is the oldest one in the county and everything like that. So I think they buried a time capsule kind of thing just before that school got torn down, kind of to commemorate the final school. So I was always told there was a time capsule there. Have they opened it since then? I have no idea. But
There
yeah,
are. If you,
so
I was just gonna say, if you look it up, they have all sorts of time capsules that they found that they never
mhm,
they had been forgotten, and then like during construction or something they found it, and everything is still intact and preserved. I
mhm.
like those. I like watching those little news things.
Me too. Me too. So, my question for you guys, if you were to have a time capsule, what would you put in it to commemorate you? So, people would open it up, say 100 years from now, 200 years from now, and they open it up. What would they find in there that represents you?
An action figure of me. I
Mm.
would scan my body, have them make a well. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to move, but maybe like a little statuette of me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, I think that would be one thing. Another thing would probably be just um, every like all of my writings and videos and stuff like that, or at least a select few.
Okay. What about you, Chloe?
Well, I have like a Supergirl patch that I've never put on like a jeans jacket or something. I'd probably put that in there because, well, because of my love for the house of L, basically. And also probably a thumb drive of some of my writings, maybe my poems, maybe a story or two. I don't know. Maybe that.
Interesting. So let's see. Mine would probably be one of my write-ins, maybe something Orville related. um, yeah. So you guys know that I'm a huge writer, so I love to write. So I'd probably do something with my write-ins, probably something with Orville. But yeah. So here's the cool thing about this episode, lasting impressions. So so you guys all know that Jack is my boyfriend, and some of you may be curious. So do Jack and you have a love song? Jack, do we have a love song?
Let's see. Let's see if I can sing it. You are so beautiful. No, that's not it. I can't remember which one it is.
So Jack and I have a playlist of about 34 songs, and one of the songs is actually from this episode called That's All I Have to Say. It's basically the song that Gordon sings with Laura.
At the end.
Yes, exactly. There's two versions. There's the version that she sings by herself, then there's the duet version. We have the duet version on our playlist. So, yes, that is definitely Jack and my song. So, yeah, in case you guys were curious, Jack and I were talking early on when we first started dating each other. We need a song. We started looking around and we said, wait a minute, what about this one? And yeah, that's one of our songs. So yeah, but yeah, the time capsule thing, I thought it was kind of cool that we got to see the newspaper, the cigarettes. I'm gonna have to freeze frame that still to find out what's all in that time capsule, because I was kind of curious, what all did they put in there?
And if I remember correctly, Tim Russ is in that.
Yes, he is. Yes, he
Yes.
is. That was a nice story.
Um, yeah, I remember. I don't know if he just said the name of the actor that I remember, but that actor that played the Vulcan on Voyager is in there. I
Yeah,
don't know if he
Tuvok.
just said the actor's name.
Same. Yeah, it's the same guy.
Same
Oh,
guy.
never mind.
Yes, he was also in Spaceballs. He was also in a couple Star Trek movies. Yes, that is
He
one
in
of the same.
space. I love him in Spaceballs. In Spaceballs, he was the one that went, "We ain't found shit."
Yes,
Combing the
exactly.
desert.
We ain't found shit. Yes, he says that. Yes. They'll literally go with the desert in case you guys have never seen the movie, but yes.
All I
With the
remember that
with the
was in
giant
that
comb.
time capsule was the cell phone and cigarettes. I would like to know what else was in there.
We'll have to freeze it for sure to find out. I know there was a
I think there
hat
was like
because Tyler has a hat.
I'm trying to remember. I think I saw an iPod there or something like that, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think there was. You may be right, Jack. There may have been one in there.
But yeah,
So
I'm the same way. I only remember the cigarettes and the cell phone.
yes,
500 cigarettes. By the way, remember when we counted them and it wasn't 500 cigarettes? It was like more like nine, or it was like 450 or something like that.
something like
430
that. Yeah, so like 460 something. Yeah, so we actually counted them.
was yeah. Someone count, and then like I went back because I had pictures of the actual prop, and
hmm
I went and counted them myself and confirmed it. Yeah, I was like, but I was I don't know why I never counted them myself. Like, why did I have to be given that idea? Anyways,
Well, it makes you curious. It makes it okay. Why do they want 500 cigarettes versus, say, I don't know, 1,000? Why did it have to be 500? I don't know.
well, I mean, like, I don't know how many they had smoked by that time, but when they started hiding the cigarettes from each other, I thought
Yes.
I thought 500 cigarettes came out of that pillow case.
I know. I did
Oh,
too.
that was funny.
We got to ask Tom how many cigarettes did they actually buy for that episode.
So that'll be interesting to know.
Yes, how many cartons do they have to actually buy?
I wonder
I mean,
what kind of looks they got from other people when buying those cigarettes.
That's a
well,
good question. That's a good question
I'm
too,
sure they
Sam.
can just go to the manufacturer and be like, hey, could you ship us, a crate of cigarettes? We'll pay you handsomely.
Well, still, the looks they must have gotten. Jeez.
True.
Right.
Makes you wonder what kind of brand it was too, because we see it's 500 cigarettes. So there's different kinds of brands of cigarettes: Camel, Newport News, I think, and but we don't know the brand of these cigarettes. We just know it's cigarettes.
Right. Right. I'm surprised the episode wasn't as controversial as I thought it would be, because it's a whole episode on and these guys are smoking. Um,
Yes.
because I've been telling you, I've been watching that Beatles documentary, Get Back, and
Mm-hmm.
before, there's three parts, and before every part, that they tell you, warning, this contains language and smoking.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yes.
language, sexual talk, and smoking. Yeah. And I was just like, the smoke. I mean, like, I can understand the first two if you have kids, but the smoking, like, who cares?
Really? I mean, I know it needs to be kind of controversial for people to be, but the thing is, people need to do it all the time on movies and in TV shows or even
Yeah.
commercials. Like
I
the
mean,
Flintstones had a
there,
commercial. They're smoking.
yeah, there's in the 50s, everybody smoked.
Yes.
Um, yeah, and in fact, they had these major shows, that a lot of these shows that you remember from back then, those
Mm-hmm.
shows were fully sponsored by sometimes cigarette companies.
Correct.
Yeah. That What's My Line show. I mean, half the people there are smoking.
Mm-hmm. They
You
have
know,
their
it's
own ashtray right there on the table.
yeah,
Yes.
it's a show from the 1950s, in case anybody doesn't know. But yeah, half the people there are smoking all the time. So I mean, that was
Mm-hmm.
the norm. And you're right, they did have a Flintstones thing commercial where Fred and Barney were smoking. It was funny.
It was. It was, I think, Winston cigarettes, if I remember correctly.
I think it was Winston. Yeah, like talking about how smooth they are and shit. Yeah.
I know, but some of these movies, like Jack and I talk about movies, guys, in case you didn't know. So one of the movies that we watched together was Casablanca, and they were smoking in it. They were like,
Hmm.
"Oh, here's tobacco." No, to them it was the norm. These people, that's
Right.
how they were known for their cigarette smoking.
And you don't even notice it, because that's how it was back then. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Um, yeah. It wasn't until, I think, the 80s when they started taking smoking very seriously, and they started banning it. Um,
Yes.
I
And there,
remember when I was young, they had for airplanes, they still had a smoking section.
mm-hmm. And there was
And
also
then
sections of restaurants too. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but yes, they had
no,
at the
no, that's
restaurants. They had at the
yeah,
restaurants where they say, "Do you want smoking or non-smoking section?" And everybody would say most of the time, non-smoking.
right. And now everything, at least here, everything is non-smoking. At least
Mm-hmm.
in California.
That's the way it is here
Yeah,
in DC area. Yes, it's that way too.
yeah,
That's the way it is here in Florida too.
Yep, and you can't smoke on airplanes, folks, because the sign
nope.
is, they'll say when the smoking sign is up, you can't smoke, but you can't even smoke in the bathroom either. So
No, I mean, you can't smoke at all on the plane.
I, I
no,
don't
They
think
got
you
rid of the
can
no
smoke at
smoking
all
section.
anywhere now except for your home.
I mean, out in public, like
maybe
in the
outside
streets.
somewhere
Okay, outside, yeah, sure,
Yeah.
but
or a club, but in
not
a club,
inside.
I
very
mean,
few clubs.
there are probably a few. We do have hookah lounges here, but that's a different type of
Right,
smoking.
right.
True.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've already put the link in the chat for you guys to follow us on Twitch. So yeah, I mean, like I said, we'll be watching Blood of Patriots and Lasting Impression. So we will see you guys afterwards. Later.